What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Star Wars News Roundup. It was kind of a slow week this past week, but we still gathered a few stories together to discuss. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was the Acolyte. Discussing Film says that it starts production in February 2022, probably after Ant-Man and the Wasp wraps production, because I believe they're going to be using the same volume set.
There's a limited amount of volumes out there.
Yeah, there's only so many. But Discussing Film says Lucasfilm is aiming to begin production on The Acolyte this upcoming February in London. The series will likely use the volume that's been set up in Pinewood Studios in London following the successful use of the technology in Los Angeles for the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, as well as the Book of Boba Fett. Casting has already begun for The Acolyte, with Lucasfilm looking to cast a young woman of color in the lead role. And I know that there was also some news about The Acolyte. There was a great interview with Leslie Headland on the AV Club, and I'll link to the video that we did already covering that, and I'll link to the article too for the heck of it, because it's a good article. But so the Acolyte is gonna start production in February, it sounds like.
That's very exciting for me.
I am surprised. I don't know why, but the Acolyte in my head was just way down the line. Maybe it was just the order that they were announcing things, but I was expecting, like, Lando to be in line before this for some reason.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about the Lando series since they announced it, but, I mean, maybe they just haven't found the right people to work on it, but it sounds like the showrunners for Acolyte, like, know what they want to do. They want to start casting. They seem to have a plan, so
I think that
maybe they're fast tracking that one.
Well, I think it was just in my head. It's like the one we know the least about. Like, you hear Lando and it's like, got it, I have an idea of what that is. The Acolyte, it's like, it's so mysterious, so in my head it was just like, well, that's 5 years down the line. So I'm really excited that it's probably going to come out in 2023. That would be my guess. And yeah, this is one of the things that I've most been looking forward to, just because it is so unknown. No idea what it's about.
I wonder if we could get like a sizzle reel, just a couple little behind the scenes things at Star Wars Celebration next year.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. See, that was like in my head talking about Celebration next year. I was like, yeah, I wonder what they're even going to talk about, because
they're going to have Obi-Wan stuff.
Well, it depends on when all that stuff comes out. Like, I thought Obi-Wan, again, this is all me assuming. In my head, Obi-Wan comes out earlier in the year. But, yeah, I guess didn't they move Celebration to April?
Yeah.
Okay. Or May? Or I don't know. They moved it up probably so that, yeah, they can tease some of this stuff like Obi-Wan and Andor and Mando Season 3.
Oh, wait,
and,
no,
yeah,
I think it is May. I don't know.
They moved it from August to earlier in the year.
Yes.
And now that makes a lot of sense, so that they can tease all these projects. And yeah, hopefully we see something from the Acolyte. Probably not much. It might be done filming by then, but yeah, that would be very exciting to just get a short little look at it. But yeah, that's that. And I guess we should throw out the caveat, like, it's not a StarWars.com announcement. It's from Discussing Film, which I believe is a pretty reputable source. But still, it got me pumped up.
Right. Yeah. The showrunners haven't announced anything specific about filming.
No one official has said anything. This is all just like sources say. So,
yeah,
take it with a grain of salt. But speaking of series, let's move on to the Book of Boba Fett, because Ming Na Wen did a couple of interviews this past week, one of them with E.T. and our friend Ash Crossan, another one with Digital Spy. I'll link to both of those in the description, but some of the little tidbits that she dropped is, she calls Robert Rodriguez their showrunner, which we knew he was a producer, but I'm really glad to see him overseeing, the whole series, because I like him as a director.
Yeah.
I really liked what he brought to his episode of season 2, and just having someone there to oversee the Boba Fett story that he knocked out of the park, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you take his episode reintroducing Boba Fett into The Mandalorian and stretch it out and give it its own show, it's gotta be good.
It's like we've talked about this in even past weeks about how, like, you know, it's on location. It just feels like it's in California, but he elevates it through like the combat and just Boba Fett's ferocity and the action. So I cannot wait to see what he does more fully with like the volume and stuff.
Knee rockets.
Yeah, more knee rockets. She also claimed that the Bad Batch and her role there is going to impact her character in the Book of Boba Fett, which is a vague but exciting sentence. Just that I guess the two stories are going to connect in some way other than just obviously she appears in both.
Yeah, I still think that she knows Boba Fett somehow, or maybe she'll get to know him in the Bad Batch. But yeah, I think we'll see their relationship and where it started.
I think so too, especially with this most recent episode, straight up name dropping Boba Fett, who we can also call Alpha now, I guess.
Yeah.
But with that name drop, that makes me just feel like, okay, maybe they're preparing us for more. And I'm hopeful to see him. And yeah, I think that would be maybe the big thing that could impact, you know, the live action show.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe more like character details and motivations could come up too. We're not going to know until it comes out, and then I'll have fun trying to pick out connections. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is just her excitement at getting to be in season 1. And according to her, she was going to be in that one episode and that was it. But she and Dave really hit it off, and then she was invited to do Fennec Shand for the Bad Batch. And then they decided to bring her back for season 2. And now she's like headlining a series with Tamira Morrison. So she's just over the moon, and it's awesome. But I also think it's interesting to just look at the idea that there was no plan for The Mandalorian. And we've talked about this before, but that the plan isn't so important as like just the vision. And it, like, Jon Favreau might not have this entire series or like this entire crossover event planned out, but like he and Dave Filoni are there with a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And if details change along the way, that's okay.
Yeah, it's great to know that a character like Fennec Shand was so good and worked so well in the story that they were like, hey, let's take this and run with it and do more with her. And
Ming Na Wen credited like fan support or just reaction, because I remember in the Gunslinger episode being like, that's it? She's dead? Like, yeah. No, that's such a waste of Ming Na Wen. Like,
everyone said that.
Like,
yeah.
Come on, there's got to be more. And everyone was kind of like, yeah, she's probably coming back. I think I was skeptical. I was like, she was in that desert for a long time, but you know, Darth Maul gets cut in half and he's fine. So
yeah.
Robot tummy, you're good to go. Like, I'm on board and I'm relieved. But moving on to another actress that we hope to see more from, Emilia Clarke had an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and she says that she's interested in revisiting Qi'ra. She said, she's the one that has the most unfinished business, Clarke explains. I really had pages about what her life was and what it would be afterwards, but I'm afraid I've heard nothing of Disney Plus being the case, so maybe he'll just write it and send to them. I'll be like, hey guys, I've got a few ideas.
Please, 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 please.
I'm hopeful that she's playing coy. You know, I'm hopeful that there is an announcement. I think we just found out this past week there's going to be a D23 this year. So hopefully they announce even more Star Wars series in development. Probably not 10, but, you know, give us a new tease. And with the War of the Bounty Hunters going on, Qi'ra reappearing there, I'm like, come on.
Let's get that corporate synergy flowing, you know, give us a taste of Qi'ra in the comic books, get people excited, and then, boom, drop a story that she's going to be in Solo 2, or she's going to be in the Crimson Dawn series.
Exactly. I think it makes perfect sense. And again, like, she said that in the interview, and then people were all over Twitter saying, like, yes, please, yes, do this. So hopefully Disney sees that, pays attention, and is like, yeah, there's something here. And regardless of how Solo performed at the box office, like, people want this. So I would love to see her come back.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Solo too, but yeah, just Crimson Dawn, her and Maul going across the galaxy, kicking ass and taking names. And for our last story, we got some book news I wanted to talk about. We have the next list of the Essential Legends books coming out. Dark Force Rising, The Last Command, Rule of Two, and Rogue Squadron, which of course I am thrilled about. If you're unfamiliar, I've got these out. These are the first 3 Essential Legends books. And they did Darth Bane, Path of Destruction, Heir to the Empire, and Shatterpoint. All great books. I really love the idea of the Essentials library for people who are like newer to Star Wars, getting into the books for the first time. And just, these are some great books. These are some of my favorite Legends books, and they're doing my favorite in the next wave because I love Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, and they're doing updated audiobooks for all of them as well.
I think I was wrong about that. I believe Shatterpoint got an audiobook and Rogue Squadron is getting one. So it's not updated for all of them yet. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it's September 7th, the next wave comes out. So they're finishing the original Thrawn trilogy. And then they're continuing the Bane trilogy. And they're going to start Rogue Squadron, which is weird because they changed the title to like the first in the Rogue Squadron series, which originally it was the first in the X-Wing series. And there were 11 X-Wing books. So I'm wondering if maybe they're going to do like the first 4 X-Wing books were kind of a one story, and then Aaron Alston took over and wrote the Wraith Squadron books. So maybe they're splitting that up, or maybe they're just doing Rogue Squadron because of the movie coming out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, do you think that has any connection with the movie itself? Like, are they rebranding those books and down the line it'll be like, okay, here's the movie. It's about those books, those old books.
Patty Jenkins straight up said that they looked at the books, they looked at the games, like they're using them for inspiration, but it's a new story. I would be blown away if they did those books, but I think it has to be something new. And I want to see something new, as much as I love those books. So I do think that they rebranded them just to make that connection a little stronger.
Yeah.
And I do think that, we know Thrawn is coming, so they're like, hey, let's republish these Thrawn trilogy books for another time, because they republished them when he came back in Star Wars Rebels too. But I'm like, are they going to do something with Bane soon? Are they going to do something with Mace Windu, with Shatterpoint? Like, it's interesting. I wonder how they're choosing these essential books. Other than they are all great. I mean, maybe that is just it. They're like picking the best Legends stories.
Yeah, I mean, this is great for Legends fans who already know about these books, or for fans who didn't know about these books and can now get reintroduced into them.
I mean, I love having, these, like, the new covers look great. I love how uniform they are. The organization in me is like, yes.
So don't say Star Wars isn't doing anything for Legends, because they are.
And I hope they keep doing it. Like, Darth Plagueis, in my mind, is an essential book. If they want to keep going with Thrawn, do Outbound Flight, do the other X-Wing books. Like, yeah, just keep going. I don't know if they'll go as far to do, like, the New Jedi Order and do, all those 20-something books, but if these keep doing well, maybe they're just going to be like, what's essential Legends? All of a Legends. Here's Crystal Star and the Courtship of Princess Leia and like all the books that everyone's like, oh, we could maybe forget about some of those. But I don't know. I'm excited to see more of them regardless. Oh, Kenobi. Kenobi's got to be one that they republish.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
That couldn't be more relevant, but those are all the stories I had from this week. So, like, not a lot of news, but some fun stuff to discuss.
Sure. And we got some fun stuff coming up next week.
Oh, yeah. The High Republic Wave 2 kicks off this week. It's going to be a very High Republic heavy week. Couple weeks, actually. So buckle up for that. But, man, The Rising Storm is so good. I cannot wait to talk about that more openly. Race to Crash Point Tower was also good, but like The Rising Storm is yet another just slam dunk of a book. What a banger. But That's all I have to talk about, so if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.